What's up, guys? So Wandavision episode 8 dropped last Friday and it was the best episode that we've gotten so far. We're back on track after two semi-lackluster episodes, and this one has got to be my favorite episode of the whole series so far. So many questions have been answered, although unfortunately for our balls especially, we still do not know who the aerospace engineer is. I'm sure we will get that answer soon, and for them to have teased our asses since like episode 5 of who this guy is supposed to be, it better be a huge bomb drop. It seems like the more revelations we get, the more the sussery of Hayward is confirmed, especially in this episode. So many great and emotional moments, sayings, and things to foreshadow on and predict. So we're gonna run through this episode. I'm gonna give my predictions for the final episode later on in the video, but let's get right into this. So the episode opens up in 1693 in Salem, Massachusetts, you know, just like the witch trials, and we see a younger looking Agatha Harkness, and she's being confronted by a coven of witches, the leader of that coven being her actual mother, and she's being tied to this post and confronted for supposedly stealing some magic that was above her grade, stealing dark magic and practicing it, and basically just being a liar. But it seems like Agatha is irredeemable, so all the witches start chanting, and there's like a bunch of torches all around this post that she's tied to, and I legit thought they were gonna light her ass up and set her ablaze, just like witch burnings or whatever, but they actually start shooting these magic blue beams at her. Like all the witches start and go after her, but because of the fact that Agatha Harkness is in fact a bad bitch witch, she bodied all of their attacks at once and hit them all with the legendary reverse card and performed like 8 life force drains at once. And this is actually 4K caught footage of what it is when she keeps on sucking. That's a fact right there, guys. This whole sequence was to set up how evil and how, I guess, mischievous Agatha Harkness has been for the better part of her life, how long-lived she is. She's nearly 400 years old, probably a lot more than that, and to show just how powerful she is and how powerful the forces that she's drawing power from really are, which a lot of people think is Chthon or Mephisto, where she's drawing this dark magic, this evil magic from. Talk about that a little bit later. And then we head back to Agatha's basement, and she actually catches all of us up on what magic really is in the MCU. Basically, the hexagons are runes, at least the ones with the symbols in them, and that's the reason why Wanda, all across the hex, there's a bunch of little hexagons because it's all just one big hex, and all the hexes that Agatha has in this basement are actually protecting her from Wanda's magic. So it's rendering Wanda, the woman who whooped Thanos' ass, powerless. I seriously want to know what the hell happened to Agatha in Infinity War and Endgame. Like, was she snapped away? Because we could have recruited her, okay? Doctor Strange should have recruited her ass, or somebody should have. Like, where the hell was Baron Mordo as well? Like, we need all the wizards. Like, magic is obviously powerful. Superman, one of his weaknesses is fucking magic. Let's get all the magic bitches out here and fucking form a team. She also reveals that Evan Peters was in fact Pietro, or Fietro, fake Pietro. And I believe Kevin Feige had said recently that Evan Peters was like the first person they thought to cast when thinking about this show. And a lot of people actually were mad about this because they think that this is supposed to be just a little nod to the Fox X-Men universe, which I would totally get that if that were the case. I wasn't too fond of the recent Fox X-Men universe, so I didn't really care. I didn't really want those X-Men integrated into the MCU anyways. After that episode 5, I always took his appearance as him being just the ultimate misdirect, because we all literally thought Fox X-Men, well, a lot of people did, I didn't. I thought that he was legit, oh, they're fucking with us, because that's what Marvel does, guys. They do that. We also see Agatha explain transmutation and mind control, so I'm guessing there has to be something, probably the rabbit, who is probably not who we all think it is. Again, there's some people that think that it's going to be Stephen Strange. I personally don't think that. I think that's a little too crazy, but I think that that thing, whatever that bunny is probably somebody of significance, because there's been shots where there's so much emphasis put on that rabbit. I don't think it's for nothing. I think that she probably turned somebody into that rabbit, so that's definitely going to be a thing. I mean, she's already mind controlled fake Pietro, so I'm thinking that's why she even brought those two things up. That's what I got from that little encounter right there. I think that bunny is sus. Agatha, when she stumbled upon the hex, she started interfering, and Agatha is amazed that Wanda is able to run all of these hexes, especially on this scale. Like, it's so goddamn huge. Like, she's running all these illusions and mind controlling people like miles away, and she's trying to pick Wanda's brain on how exactly she's doing this, probably because Agatha wants to do that herself. I don't know exactly what her goals are, but I believe it's something of that nature. But of course, it's still foggy to Wanda as well, so we literally take a trip down memory lane and visit Wanda at different points in her past. And Agatha acts as this kind of like pseudo therapist throughout this sequence, and for whatever reason, after seeing this episode and seeing this sequence, I could not stop thinking about Barf Tech. Like in Civil War, when Tony Stark unveiled the Barf Tech, I was like, okay, Wanda is there at the compound. She 100% needs this. She's going through a lot of shit. She's been through it all. If anybody needs Barf Tech to realize their traumas and deal with them, it's her. And maybe if she had been using Barf Tech when she was at the Avengers compound, maybe none of this shit would have ever even happened. We wouldn't have gotten to this point. But then again, maybe it was all for the best. Anyways, we first go back to Wanda's childhood and we actually see her parents, the Maximoffs, and we do in fact see a young Pietro, which in any form, it's good to see him back, okay? I want the real deal. I still think that ATJ is coming back. I know that sounds incredibly impossible, but that's just my hopes, guys. Don't kill my dreams just yet. I'll wait till Thursday night to have my dreams crushed, but for right now, a guy can dream, right? And in this tiny Sokovian apartment, it is TV night, and on TV night, they try to practice their English, which I really like. A lot of immigrant families, they pick up on a lot of English and actually sometimes even learn English from watching American TV, so I thought that was a pretty nice little touch that they did there. And they have this big chest full of old DVDs of TV shows and sitcoms and everything, and Wanda's favorite being the Dick Van Dyke Show, and that's what they start to watch. And this is just a sweet moment, and it gives the insight of why the whole sitcom TV aspect is even going on in the first place. It's because Wanda loves TV shows, she loves sitcoms, and Wanda's projecting things that bring her happiness and distract her from her grief, her trauma, and this is one of those things. And this is such a sweet moment, it's such a good moment, but alas, this is Wanda Maximoff we're talking about, and you know, trouble follows her, and this is actually that night that her parents die, and when the Stark missile drops right in front of young Wanda and young Pietro, it's very traumatic. Like, they totally caught me off guard. I thought this was just gonna be a sweet moment, but they showed us that. I'm really glad we were actually able to see this moment. Like, up until now, we've only heard that it happened, but to actually see it, it was actually really emotional and powerful, I think, and it puts all this emphasis on the catalyst of all the events of Wanda's life. Unfortunately, it's not the last by a long shot. And after this memory, Agatha tries to pick Wanda's brain again. Wanda, of course, doesn't know shit. She was never taught anything of magic, which is even more reason to bring Doctor Strange in, which I'm pretty sure we're gonna see him in the next 2 episodes, or 1 episode, whichever it is, probably 1. Then we transition to the next memory, and I gotta say, I'm really digging this whole like Monsters Inc. door portal thing. I think it's like really cool, and we actually get to see Wanda from her time at Hydra. Even Agnes calls her out on joining Hydra. Obviously, to her at that time, it seemed justified because of everything that was going on in her life, but we get to see her interact for the first time with the Mind Stone. Well, it was still encased in blue and in the scepter, and it actually goes to her, and upon touching it, Wanda gets to see a glimpse of herself fully realized as the Scarlet Witch in the new costume that they've been teasing, and it's alluded to that the Mind Stone actually amplified her powers, and that's also a further way to explain why Wanda is just so OP. And then we move to her time at Avengers headquarters after Age of Ultron. She's actually watching Malcolm in the Middle now, and somebody actually brought this up on Twitter that because Bryan Cranston appears on the screen, he'll never be able to be cast in the MCU, which honestly, that's probably the saddest thing that has ever happened in the MCU, to be honest. We actually get to see the impact that Pietro's death had on her when Vision walks in or phases in and tries to console her on certain things. She's just not having it. She wants her brother back. And as well as that, we start seeing the first blossomings of the love between Wanda and Vision. Vision also drops some profound shit. Like, they're always giving Vision like some of the best lines like ever. But what is grief if not love persevering? That's Shakespeare, dog. That's everything right there. And I just love this part. It's so sweet and kind of lighthearted, but still very emotional and deep. And I don't know why, but I just absolutely love the concept of robots trying to be human. Maybe it's because I saw the movie AI when I was very young and it left some kind of an impression on me, but I just noticed so many people in real life try their best to be cold and numb and machine-like. And I really like how in these movies that machines themselves actually crave the exact opposite, to feel, to try to be human, you know, without sounding too pretentious. I think that's very beautiful. And so after that incredibly sweet moment, we see the actual events of what happened when Wanda went to go and visit SWORD, and not the complete fabrication that Hayward showed us in episode 5. Wanda goes to the SWORD facility. All she wanted to do was see Vision, and I really like when she's going on there that the TVs on top in the SWORD facility, the monitors are basically showing so many happy people being reunited, families being reunited after the snap, but she didn't get that. She entered the snap in pain and she came back in pain, basically. Just the worst shit has ever happened to Wanda, okay? And everybody's happy around her, but she doesn't have what she wants. And so all she wants to do is see the Vision. She even wants to give him a proper funeral, but she can't. can't. And basically the people at Sword are being bitches and they're not helping her out, and they show her Vision's disassembled body just straight out of Vision Quest. Hayward says, look, we can't give you the body, he was never yours to begin with, and this is just all cutting Wanda deep. And she goes to look closer at Vision's body and she just cuts her losses and leaves, and she gets back in her car, and we get a little bit of a shot of this paper that she has on her passenger side, and she goes to Westview, New Jersey. We see the main characters from Wandavision. We see, you know, Mrs. Hart, Herb, we see the delivery guy and the dude with the mustache that hits on all levels, and she rolls up to this empty plot of land, and she brings the paper with her, and when she gets to the middle of the plot, she opens it up. It's a paper with a deed / blueprint to the house with a little heart drawn on it and written inside, to grow old together from Vision. And so that, obviously, that's a heart melter, okay? That's everything right there. I know that Vision is a synthesoid, but he's technically a robot. He's something. He doesn't have a real heart, at least I don't think. I don't know if he has a vibranium heart, but basically, that's just beautiful. To think that he sat down and did this, it's just amazing. And so she breaks down, and with the help of chaos magic, she creates Wandavision. All this grief, all this trauma, all this pain just comes out of her. Can't deal with it any longer. She needs happiness. She needs relief now. And so she creates this world, and she creates Vision. She didn't take Vision's body. She created Vision with the Mind Stone in him. Now, I don't know how exact that Mind Stone is, what the capacity of that Mind Stone's power that she created is. We know that Vision basically disintegrates when he gets out of the hex. That's crazy for her to have actually made him. So insane. And you know, if she can make Vision because she really misses him, I'm just saying, what if she makes Pietro? That would be sick. I would love that. I want to see him. We all want to see him, okay? It's about the principle, guys. At the end of the episode, we see Agatha and her original drip that we didn't get to see. We only got kind of a glimpse at in episode 7, and she has the twins by the neck, and she's telling Wanda all this shit about how dangerous she is. Main episode ends with her calling Wanda the Scarlet Witch, which is like the first time that's ever been said in the MCU, I believe. And that's where Please Stand By comes on, but we actually get a mid-credit scene, and it's basically 2021 confirmed Hayward is evil. We see White Vision, and he was basically able to harness the power from the Hextron, like I'd kind of alluded to. They didn't re-engineer anything, but they're drawing the chaos magic power from that Hextron to the Vision that they've reassembled somehow, and it's White Vision. And so White Vision in the comics was when the Vision was disassembled in Vision Quest. When he was reassembled, he basically came back, but he didn't have any of the same like emotions basically as the previous Vision. So he was just like this cold machine. And so what I'm thinking, and I think a lot of other people are thinking it as well, because James Spader has not appeared, his voice has not appeared yet, I'm thinking that when we see that White Vision in the next episode, we're gonna hear James Spader. We're gonna hear Ultron, guys. I'm thinking that Hayward is such an idiot that he would upload Ultron, some kind of file of Ultron into Vision, which would kind of make Ultron's goal be realized. Like his whole goal in Age of Ultron was to get his mind into Vision's body. That's gonna be fun to see. That kind of goes into what I was saying of like Hayward sending Ultron into the Hex. That's gonna be interesting to see. I don't know how the fuck Hayward was able to draw chaos magic power. That's gonna be very weird. I think that's gonna change the game up, because if White Vision goes in there, is he just gonna be drawing power from Hex magic? Does that increase his powers if he just drains Hex magic energy? And as well, I think that that's what Agatha is trying to do with Wanda. I think that that whole like power drain that she did to that whole coven of witches is kind of a foreshadowing of what she's gonna want to do or try to do, or maybe even do to Wanda. Siphon all of that life force, chaos magic energy from her. That's what I'm thinking is gonna happen. As far as predictions for this next episode, guys, Strange is coming. I'm guessing that White Vision is Ultron. The last one, ATJ. I want to see ATJ in some capacity. That's it. But that's basically all my predictions, or all the ones that I can think of right now. I'm very curious also about who exactly Evan Peters is gonna be, who Agatha Harkness is serving, or where she's deriving all of her power from. Is it Chthon? Is it Dormammu like comics explain things? Is it fucking Mephisto like how everybody else on the internet thinks? These are the questions, guys. I hope Mephisto comes out. I'm still thinking that all roads lead to Mephisto, so if we don't see him, maybe he'll get alluded to. We still need to find out what the hell that book was, and I think we will find out in this last episode. But a lot of people are concerned with how exactly they're going to be able to wrap up everything that has just happened in 50 minutes. Supposedly it's 50 minutes. Hopefully it's 50 minutes plus, you know, the 10 hours of credits, but we shall see. I'm very excited. That's pretty much it, guys. Again, let me know your predictions, your theories, what you want to see, what you think will happen, what you don't think will happen. I'd love to hear it all. That's it. If you like the video, leave me a thumbs up, comment down below, and if you want, subscribe. I always appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.